Welcome to Nerd on Nerd with me, Jack Kempster.
And me, Liam Underwood. And in this week's episode, we're going to be talking about John Constantine, Hellblazer, Volume 1, Original Sins. So that's something to look forward to, if you're a fan of John Constantine, I guess.
Or if you're interested in our opinions on graphic novels that you don't care about.
Something to look forward to. But before all that, we have just an ordinary section of the show that no one really cares for, called...
I like it.
Is it your favourite, though?
I don't have a favourite section of the show, I just love the whole show.
I wish we had more listeners like you. This is Catching Up with Jack and Liam. So, what's up, Jack? What have you been up to?
I've not been up to much, Liam, which is, a shock to all our listeners.
I'm pretty shocked.
But, Liam,
yeah,
I have been driving more. So
that's good.
that.
Well done.
Did a bit of driving. It's all good. I'm good at driving again.
Yeah.
Some would say the best. I don't tell them no, because it's
Why
true.
are you talking like Donald Trump?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like, last episode you were like, I don't like it when you get political, and now you're talking like Donald Trump.
I don't think that's getting political.
Well...
I think you made it political by referencing Trump.
Well, you're making me sad, exclamation point.
Anyway, I've been driving.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Well done.
Thank you.
Are you enjoying
And also,
driving?
Liam, yeah, I am. I regret not... Well, no, I don't, because it made sense why I didn't drive.
Yeah, because you were in London, like, chasing the big cheese and the rat
Yeah,
race,
I went to uni, and I was like, I live at, 10 minutes away from the uni.
No
I
need
don't
to
need
drive.
to drive.
Nah.
And then, some of us made that decision. Others already had a car, I guess.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I moved home and worked in London and was like, I'm not going to drive to London because you have to pay money.
Well, you lived in London for a while, didn't you?
Yeah, but I lived at home first.
Okay.
But I was like, I work in London, I can get trains places. I don't mind getting the train.
Yeah.
So, it made sense not to travel in. But now that I've started driving again, yeah, I was like, I do like doing this.
So, what is it about it that you enjoy?
I don't know. What does anyone enjoy about driving?
I don't enjoy driving, so I don't know.
Well, that's weird. Fair enough.
No, it's not weird. I absolutely... Okay, here's the thing. I wouldn't mind driving if I was the only car on the road, but the thing that stresses me out with driving is other drivers and how terrible they often are.
Yeah.
So
but that's the same with, people. I don't like people, Liam.
Yeah.
But people are everywhere. So you sort of just... I still enjoy doing stuff, even though there are people.
Yeah, that's a fair point, but I don't enjoy... The thing is that I'm 100% ready for self-driving cars.
Yeah, same. But I think that, to be fair, I think we want them for different reasons. Mine is just that I love the idea of cool technology.
And mine is I hate driving.
Yes. Yeah,
So-
two different viewpoints there.
Yeah, but do you not find, you hit the open road and your possibilities are somewhat limitless? You can go anywhere.
Yeah.
You could drive to Scotland if you wanted.
That's weird, Liam, because last night I had a dream that I drove to Scotland.
Okay, that is weird.
And that I woke up and it was the most mundane bullshit. I was like, why did I dream that?
Last night, I had a dream that I drove my nan, when she was alive, back to the area where we used to live, which wasn't the nicest of areas, and then my car got stolen.
Oh, that's good.
So, that's weird.
Yeah, fair enough. Nothing more interesting than hearing two people talk about their dreams, I think.
I like the idea that you were the one that stole the car in my dream, and then that played into your dream.
Yeah, maybe.
It's all connected.
It is, Liam. We're just on the same wavelength.
Yeah, to an extent.
But I don't know, mate.
I think, one of us is maybe more switched on than the other.
Yes, I think that's true.
Yeah. So, what else you been up to then? Just driving around, having fun?
Yeah, pretty much, Liam. Pretty much. Been doing a bit of D&D.
Oh yeah? How's that going?
Yes, fine.
So have you got a new group now then?
Well, it's the kids at my volunteer thing. The older ones.
Oh, okay. So how's that going?
It's good. It's pretty funny.
Do you find with the sort of different age group, because when you
they're pretty much they're all 18. I think one of them's 17. So
yeah, but
not,
even so, right? That's like a 10-year difference to some of us.
Yeah,
it's a long time.
Yeah, to you.
Yeah,
just want to specify that.
Do you not find, because when you did it before, it was with people your own age, right?
Yeah.
Now that it's people who are just a tiny bit younger, is it different or is it still very similar?
It's all pretty similar. I mean, everything's going to be different, but I don't think the age is a huge factor.
Okay, I guess if they were even younger, because to be fair, you did say you're doing it with the kids. I think
there is an age.
And now you're saying they're 18, which isn't really kid age.
Yeah, but they have been at that volunteer thing, since they were kids.
But they're not kids.
They're 18. That's, no offence.
That's legally
if any 18-year-olds
are
listening to us, you're still... Yeah, it's legally an adult, but I don't think many people are looking at 18-year-olds going, that's an adult.
That's a tricky can of worms to
Is
open
it?
there.
Is it, Liam? Because I was 18,
Yeah.
and I did the whole, I think I'm an adult, and now I'm 25, and I've realised that I'm still not an adult. So if any 18-year-olds out there have got an issue with me saying that, bear in mind that I'm a 25-year-old who doesn't think he's an adult, so deal with it.
Well, you do
That's
not
right,
want to...
I've just shouted out. I've just pissed off our entire 18-year-old audience.
Which I don't think is a large chunk of our audience, to be fair.
Well, those 4 that play D&D with me, they do listen.
Oh, okay.
Mainly to find out embarrassing stuff about me or you.
I mean, they've never met me, so it doesn't matter if they find embarrassing stuff out about me.
No, that's true.
So, now's your chance. You could turn the tables on them and say something embarrassing about them.
No.
Okay. Wasted
I'm a decent
opportunity.
human being, Liam.
Well, that's debatable.
But that's pretty much all I've been up to, mate. I've been doing shit all else. What
Okay.
have you been up to?
Bloody went to Germany, didn't I?
Yes, you did. I forgot about that.
Yeah, for just under a week.
How was that?
Monday to Friday. The thing is, right, it was for work,
Yep.
so it's never going to be the most fun, but it was particularly boring.
Did you go to any... What do they call it? I don't know, pub? I'm just going to call it a pub. Did you go to any pubs?
Yeah, I went to one where they had like a live German band playing,
Oh.
like the traditional sort of German garb. And here's the
Lederhosen.
thing, right? Okay, right. Here's the thing: the waitresses were dressed in, like I don't know how traditional it is, but clothing that would be very fitting for a busty lady, shall we say?
Yeah.
Issue is
Were they wearing the traditional, like, German... the thing you'd picture in, like, an old-timey German pub?
yeah.
Yeah.
Problem is, all of the ladies were wearing that, even if they didn't necessarily have the assets to properly pull that look off.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's fine. It felt like it kind of felt like they were being forced to wear this like costume almost. And I just felt a bit bad for them. I was like, oh, it's a shame that they can't just wear what they want to wear.
Yeah, no, you're totally right, mate, because you know what would have been less awkward is only having the ones with big tits wear those outfits. No,
what would have been better
Liam. Silly the rest of us humans. Oh,
Okay,
how could we have made such a foolish mistake?
Wouldn't it have been better if they could have all worn what they wanted to wear?
No, not if it's a themed pub. You get people that wear uniforms for work.
Yeah, I guess.
Don't make this a standing point.
Right,
'cause
okay,
it's not.
But it's like, okay, so for our American audience, it would be like going to Hooters, and then you expect a certain thing, right?
Yeah. The outfit that I'm picturing these women wearing, Liam, is not on the level of Hooters.
I mean, Hooters, it's just tight t-shirts, isn't it?
Tight t-shirts and short shorts, isn't it?
Yeah. This is...
Yeah.
You know,
I imagine that the German bar women were not wearing short shorts and very tight t-shirts.
no, just like very... what's the word?
You're going to say... Do you want to say revealing?
Yeah.
Right. Now, was it actually revealing?
Okay, so sorry.
Or was
No.
it just cleavage?
Revealing's the wrong word. Just very cleavagey.
Well, that's fine. They're allowed to show their cleavage, Liam.
I'm not saying they're not allowed to. I'm just
It
saying...
sounds like you are.
I felt bad for those that didn't have the cleavage to show being forced to kind of wear stuff that was still trying to show that.
I mean, that's...
Like, I feel like you're trying to paint me into this picture.
No. I'm genuinely trying not to.
Yeah.
But I think what this is you're coming at this with a kind heart.
Yeah.
It's just misplaced and sort of weird.
Fair enough. But yeah, so I had some German beer at that place. The food was terrible. Absolutely.
What did you
awful.
have, food-wise?
I-
Bratwurst?
Chicken.
Why
was awful.
didn't you have bratwurst?
I just wasn't in the mood.
Well, that's ridiculous. You're in Germany.
Yeah, I don't think I had
From what I understand, Liam, if you go to Germany, you just eat bratwurst the entire time and drink their beer.
I didn't eat a single German sausage.
Well, Liam, the hell were you doing?
Well, I didn't get a lot of say in where we went, and we didn't always... That was like the only German place we went to.
Where else did you go?
We had a tapas place at one point that I
Why
want to say
did
was Greek.
you at work go to Germany and go to tapas?
A Greek tapas place.
What is... Who was deciding where you went?
I honestly don't know.
Because that's insane.
Yeah.
Why would anyone do that?
There was one night where I didn't go because I wasn't feeling 100%. It was like the last night there, and I was just like so sick of like feigning interest in work talk that I was just like, I'm just going to eat at the hotel restaurant. On that night, everyone else went to a Thai place.
What is wrong with the people that you work with?
We could be here all day listing that.
That's true.
But yeah, so I did a lot of work, and the thing with Germany,
Yeah.
It's not the happiest of places. Like when you're walking around. So I had to do a little bit of like the sightseeing when I was there, and also it was part of work that I had to do it. And it was very hard because I had to make a video. It was very hard to find somewhere significant that you could actually film without it feeling really exploitative and miserable.
What city were you in?
Berlin.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Berlin's not got the greatest, history. Like, as in the happiest history.
And like, it's really interesting. But when you're there to make a video that's like, how exciting we're in Berlin, it's really limiting.
Look at this, the remains of a wall that separated two halves of the city.
Yeah, exactly. It was a
this
bit
is
like...
This is the pub that Adolf Hitler rose to power in.
Yeah, it was a bit like, oh, I don't think we can film here. Let's try and find somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was fun. I got to talk to... I got to be a bit of a booth babe for a day.
Yes, I saw a picture, I believe, of you booth baby.
Yeah, so I got to talk to like customers about work things, which was just...
Did you get any cool social media work people come up to you and say, "Can I have my photo with you, you beautiful angel, you"?
No.
Oh.
No.
You weren't a very good booth babe then, quite frankly.
No, I wasn't.
Were you showing any cleavage?
No.
Oh, Liam.
I learned from the night before. I was like, if you ain't got it, don't even try. The other thing, right? And
yeah.
I don't know if this is... obviously, I've had a very limited experience. I was only there for, I think, 4 nights. So, I'm not... This isn't a blanket statement that I'm making.
Okay.
But an observation that I did make there is, in the UK, when you typically go to a restaurant or somewhere, and there's staff like that are serving you and waiting on you and whatnot, they generally at least pretend to be happy or attentive, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Not in Germany. It feels in Germany like you go there and you can almost tell that they're rolling their eyes like, oh great, more people for me to now have to serve. Which a part of me does admire that honesty, because it is how I would feel working that job. But when you're on the other side as the customer, it's very noticeable. And when you like sit down and then you have to wait 20 minutes before you even get a menu and they take your drink orders, and then another half an hour before your drinks even come, and that's not like a one-off occurrence, that was regular, you kind of feel like you're not really wanted there.
I mean, to be fair, right, is it possible that they were like, we live in the beautiful city of Berlin?
Yep.
These English people and Americans as well, I believe?
Yeah, we had all sorts. We had Europeans, we had
everyone.
Italians, Americans, English.
They said, look, this group of very multicultural people have come to Berlin, our beautiful city.
I mean, I think beautiful is
instead of going, stop ruining it, Liam. Stop ruining it.
The architecture's just very like prison-y, is all I'll say.
Okay, well, all right, I won't say beautiful. Our wonderful city of Berlin, full of joy and wonder.
I mean, yeah, okay.
They've come here, and they've come to this restaurant that I work in, the tapas bar.
Yeah, the
So
Greek
maybe
tapas
they all
bar.
were judging you because they were like, why the hell are you in a tapas bar?
That's entirely possible.
That's just my 2 cents on why you were hated by the German populace.
It's entirely possible. Put it this way, would I recommend going to Berlin? No.
Oh, I'd like to go to Berlin.
I wouldn't recommend it, Jack. I literally just said that.
Yeah, but I would go there because I want to see, like, the wall and stuff.
Yeah, but I feel like, personally, I would have preferred to have gone to, like, Frankfurt or somewhere.
Okay. Have you been to Frankfurt before?
No. Never been to Germany before. This was my first experience.
Okay. Did you learn any of the language, Liam? Can you regale us with a bit of German talk?
9.
Very good.
Thank you.
Perfect. You've become fluent.
I've got, like, a tin ear for languages, so I picked up nothing.
Good.
And, like, the event I was at was a big European one. And the problem I have is when people talk in it with accents, even if they're talking in English, I really struggle. So my brain just tunes out. And when you're booth babing, that's not good.
I have that same thing. Like, if someone's got an accent, sometimes my brain just gets so focused on, like, if they say one word that I don't quite catch.
Yeah.
My brain, like, locks onto that word and is trying to solve that whilst they're then talking. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm getting
You just get
stuck.
lost, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good. But, like, what's annoying is one of the guys in the team, he can speak, like, 3 or 4 languages. And, like, people come up, and it's so impressive seeing them just switch from like English to like Italian, and it just absolutely blows my mind. And I'm there struggling with someone who's talking to me in English. They just have an accent, and I'm like, my brain's just like, I'm out. I can't do this.
Yeah, I imagine that would be quite difficult at a big convention full of European people.
Yeah. The other thing is, like, I wasn't feeling 100%. Like, I was really congested. I didn't have a cold, but like my throat was sore. I had like, I just felt exhausted all the time.
Did you have any naps?
I didn't have time.
That'd be why then, Liam.
I know. I had a little nap before we recorded.
I know you always have a fucking nap.
It's annoying though, because Kat came in from work and then just started jabbering to the phone, on the phone to her mum really loudly. Not nary a care in the world for me, napping beautifully like a babe.
That's weird, that, isn't it? People not respecting naps.
It is.
It's almost like she thinks you're a grown adult.
I mean, don't they have siestas in Italy or somewhere, or Mexico or something?
Spain has them.
Spain, there we go. Mexico's close.
I think other places, I think a lot of hot places, have siestas. I mean, they have them for a different reason than what you're than you're a bit sleepy.
What's their reason?
Well, in Spain and hot countries, when it gets to midday and the sun is directly overhead, their countries become living infernos, Liam. So they nap because it would literally be like living in hell if they were forced to work through it.
Maybe I'm just sort of
too hot,
or like naturally Spanish, if you know what I mean.
Yep, sure, Liam. That's a good claim to make. Yep, you're definitely part Spanish.
See?
Oh, no, stop.
Anything else I've been up to? I went to cinema and I went to the dentist today.
Oh, how did that go?
Fine. It was just a checkup and everything is good. I was in and out in about 10 minutes and it cost me £55.
It sounds like she didn't really check properly, or he.
It was a he.
It sounds like he didn't really check properly.
His assistant, I don't know whether I should feel complimented or not, but I got there, and obviously I've recently moved, haven't I, in the last 6 months, so I had to update my details, and his assistant was like, oh, so have you moved out of mum's then? And I was like, no, I was renting in this area, and then I had a crazy landlady, and now I had to rent in a different area. And she was like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, we had issues with the garden. And then this assistant, I swear to you, legit said this, were you growing weed? And I wanted to say, how old do you think I am?
You should have. Honestly, 100% that you should have asked that.
Because
I'm so upset that you didn't.
I feel like... Now, I don't think I look like, a teenager.
You do. I think you probably do look younger than you are.
Yeah, and I definitely act it. But not young enough to be like, oh, I've just moved out of my mum's and now I've been called growing weed. I don't even have like that sort of stoner look about me, I don't think.
No. I mean, the audacity of that woman. Honestly, right? I can't imagine saying that to someone.
Exactly. I mean, especially like in this country where weed isn't really spoken about that much. Like, it was a weird thing to just...
Yes, it's a weird thing to latch up to be like, oh, this guy definitely grows weed.
Yeah. But yeah, also in good news, so for those of you who have been listening for a long time and are curious, what's the update with Liam and his deposit and his crazy landlady? Got all my deposit back. I was in the right. It's now been proven. Done.
Way!
So that was cause for celebration today.
More money to spend on buying DVDs that you won't watch.
No, I will watch them. I just don't know when. I bought 10 the other day, Jack. After a week away, I watched none.
Yeah, it's insane.
Well, they had some good deals on, and some... Obviously, I had 2 weeks of new releases to catch up on.
I think you have an addiction.
I actually genuinely know what the problem is.
You have an addiction to buying DVDs.
No, I figured it out because, okay, so one of the reasons why we did the graphic novel we did this week is because I wanted something that I could do on the iPad when I was away.
Oh, that's a good point, because you finished reading it today.
I was busy.
So you didn't do that?
Oh, I read it on the plane a bit, but I was busy with work and stuff, so I didn't have enough time as I hoped I would. Anyway, we're sidetracking. Back to my point. I realised doing that, I was like, oh, I don't need to buy a lot of these things, because it's so immediate. If I'm ever in the mood to just read something, I can just buy it and within like 5 minutes have it. Whereas I think the reason why my like film collection is out of control is because I'll be out and I'll be like, well, I know I want to see this, but I don't know when I'll be in the mood to see it, so I might as well just get it now so it's ready for when I am in the mood. Whereas if I had something like the iPad where if if digital and streaming and stuff was at that stage where I felt more comfortable with it, I could be like, oh, it doesn't matter if I'm in the mood or not, because when I sit down to decide, I have a library there and I just buy it as I need it. So that's the issue, is I'm like preemptively trying to predict what future Liam wants.
Right. I mean, that would hold more sway with me.
Yeah.
If the number wasn't above 1,000.
I mean, I just never know what I'm going to be in the mood for, though, do I?
Yeah, that's true. I don't think there can be 1,000. I don't think 1,000. I think 100 at most. I think if you had said it was 100, maybe not you. If someone came up to me and said, I have 100 films that I haven't watched sitting there ready for me to watch, I would say that is too many films.
Okay.
So you're more than 10 times over that.
Yeah, but I've got a lot of moods catered for now.
Yeah, but
because I don't think 100 is enough to be able to predict like what sort of mood. Because okay, let's get into this, Jack. Let's say,
oh god, okay, fine.
Right, just we'll be quick about it. But let's just say, oh, it's a nice Friday night. I'm in the mood for something spooky. I want a horror film. Well, what sort of horror film do I want? Do I want a slasher? Do I want a ghost? Do I want a creature feature? There's so many options within that one genre.
I mean, that's three. That's three different options in horror.
Monster movie?
Is that not the same as creature feature?
No. So creature feature, I'm thinking stuff like Lake Placid, where it's like nature gone wild.
How is that not a monster movie?
Monster movie, I'm thinking something more like Frankenstein.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Alright, it could be a sci-fi horror. I could be in the mood for some like alien shit.
Yeah, see, no, but then I'd start... That's where you've got to change your attitude, Liam. If you go, I'm in the mood for sci-fi, then you've got alien, and then you go, if I'm in the mood for horror, I've got alien. That way, you've just hit two genres on their head.
But what if I don't want alien?
Well, you should look at your DVD pile and go, well, at least I won't have 1,000 DVDs if I watch Alien.
But okay, but like, what if I'm in the mood for a horror sci-fi, like Event Horizon, for example?
Watch Alien.
But I want Event Horizon.
Right, well, it sounds like you don't want to watch a horror sci-fi. It sounds like you want to watch Event Horizon.
No, but I mean, as an example, there's so many... What if I want a rape and revenge film?
Yeah, sure. But I mean, okay, now, that's fine, Liam. That all makes sense. I get what you're saying.
Werewolf movie?
Just admit, though, that's all I want. Just admit that 1,000 is too many.
It is too many.
Thank you. That's all I want.
It's got out of hand.
Yeah, it has.
But it's not a bad position to be in.
Well...
No, I would rather have 1,000 things to choose from, not knowing what mood I'd be in, than 100.
Most people, when they're doing sort of metaphorical things like that and sayings, go for the two extremes. I like that you went for the extreme and then less than the extreme.
Yeah.
There's no, like... I'd rather have no DVD. I'd rather have 1,000 DVDs than no DVDs.
But also, imagine like being a friend of mine and being like,
I am, yep.
Oh, should we have a movie night? Yeah, let's have a movie night. Do you want me to bring anything? Don't worry, I got you covered, mate.
Yeah, and then you turn up with High School Musical.
Yeah, and that was good.
Exactly. You don't need 1,000. You know it's always High School Musical.
I just need the career of Zac Efron.
Oh, Liam.
But yeah, that was my week.
Well, it sounds exciting.
Clearly, I did not describe really my week accurately. Went to the cinema, though, didn't I?
Oh, did you, Liam? That's for sure.
So, now it's time for my favourite segment. Liam went to cinema, and now it's time for his spoiler-free review of the things that he saw at cinema. We're changing up a bit, aren't we? It used to be the limit was 3. Now we're lowering that to the limit of 2.
Yep.
Because apparently, I talk about films too much.
You said to me that you were lowering the limit.
Yeah, but you had feedback that was like, oh, that's just a film podcast. I don't like it.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, no, that wasn't your feedback, but you received that feedback.
No, I know, I did. It also, the feedback wasn't that.
What was
it was
the
just
feedback?
Liam talks about a lot of films.
No, and it was more whingy than that.
I like that these 18-year-old kids have got in your head.
No one's in my head.
It sounds like they might have got in your head a little bit.
I'm just trying to find one. Also, Kat
If you're out there, guys, good job.
Kat said that she thought I spoke about films too much. Here we go. Right, the exact thing. Jack, it started strong, but I've come to realise that the podcast is just you reviewing films, which is a lie, because you don't review any films pretty much. And then you responded saying, mate, I fucking know, right? It's Liam who bums films. And then they came back saying, I've lost all faith in the podcast.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, to be fair, listeners, that sounds like I was being mean to Liam in that text. But I think Liam would admit that he bums films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my interest. If I'm going to go on like Mastermind or some shit, I'm probably going to pick film's too wide of a topic. I don't know, that Zac Efron films.
Yeah, exactly. We all knew it would be Zac Efron's, whatever they call it.
Oeuvre?
Not bibliography.
Oeuvre.
Books. No, there's got to be another word, like an ography word.
It's an oeuvre. Filmography.
Yeah.
Or oeuvre.
I just don't think you should say words that come from the French language.
Baguette.
Because you can't do French words.
Ah, je m'appelle Liam.
What is this French guy? Anyway, you went to the cinema, Liam.
I like the idea because we've been up putting these in like sections on YouTube, and someone's going to come along, and the first film I'm going to talk about is A Cure for Wellness, and they've just listened to like 2 minutes of us just talking shit. And me doing a shit
Hey
French
YouTube,
accent.
if that's you out there, I apologise.
So the first film is A Cure for Wellness.
I really want to see this.
Don't.
Oh, damn it,
It's
really?
really shit. No, okay, so I think I would say I'm generally pretty fair with films. If anything, the issue I have with film is I think it's okay, but not like great, whereas others would say it's great. But I very rarely would say a film is bad.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm generally very favourable. A Cure
Yeah.
for Wellness is a bad film.
Oh, that's a shame. Because it had that sort of Shutter Island-y feel to it.
It does, and the thing with it is why it's bad. It's 2 hours and 26 minutes long. Okay,
Oh, that is quite long.
it's quite long. Now, if a film is good, I have zero issues with it being long.
Yep.
The problem with A Cure for Wellness, I felt every single one of those minutes because I think one of the worst things a film can be is boring.
That's what I had with
And-
Blue is the Warmest Colour.
Yeah, exactly. So A Cure for
Yeah.
Wellness, I literally could feel my life just sort of seeping out of me as this film just dragged on and on. And what it does is it basically, I think within this film, there's maybe the potential of 3 different stories and 3 different films that you could be telling. And the
Yeah.
problem is director Gore Verbinski, who you'll know from like the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy.
Yep, cool.
He's just tried to mash these 3 stories together. So neither one of the stories really gets its justice because it's kind of fighting for screen time. And the way that they've been mashed together, they really like clumsily overlap. And
Okay.
so you kind of like the trailer, because I'm assuming the reason why you want to watch it is you thought the trailer looked interesting, right?
Yes, that is the reason.
Exact same for me. I was really taken by the trailer. I was like, this looks good.
Yeah.
And genuinely, the stuff in the trailer that you would look at and be like, that looks interesting, I want to see that, it literally just feels like it's been just plopped into the film with no real significance.
So they could make the trailer.
And you're watching it, yeah, exactly. And it's just, there's one scene that I did enjoy, I'll be fair, but, bear with me a second. What?
What?
Sorry, I'm being interrupted.
Fuck you.
Because someone's come.
I'm cold.
I'm in the middle of a film review, Catherine.
What the shit?
I'm talking about A Cure for Wellness. You weren't being very quiet.
You not shut the door the whole...
Well, that's how I keep it quiet in here, so I can do my recordings. Bye-bye.
I am leaving that in.
So yeah. So, okay, I was saying. So there is one scene that's good. Like,
Yeah.
I'll give it credit there. But just really disappointing. Really disappointing. Mia Goth plays a character in it. She's probably the best thing about it. Fun fact for you. Married
fun fact
to
time.
our favourite person, one of our favourite people, Shia LaBeouf. Or is it
Oh.
Shia LaBeouf? Did we ever figure that out?
Shy of the beef.
Shia LaBeouf. So, if you want to see his wife in a film, here you go, I guess. But otherwise, 1.5 out of 5.
That is quite low for you.
Yeah. Next film, Logan.
See, this I also want to see.
I know, and I'm going to be very careful talking about this
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
don't want to... Well, one, I
It's,
don't want
it's
to...
only just come out as well.
Yeah, and one, I do not want to spoil it for you. But 2, I also don't want to kind of hype you up too much or, like, kind of mislead you when I'm talking about it.
Yeah.
So, what I will say is, I don't know if you've necessarily felt this, but in all of the previous X-Men films that have featured Wolverine, I've always felt that he's been kind of neutered in that, like, what he does, the way he approaches, like, violent situations, his whole demeanour and attitude isn't really appropriate for a film where they're trying to get, like, a PG or 12A certificate, right?
No, yes. He has giant blades come out of his arm.
Yeah. So it's so delightful to finally see this character done right.
Yeah, I mean, because even in the
Done in
trailer,
a way-
did they do an R-rated trailer?
Yeah.
And that was pretty
Yes, they
good.
did. Yeah. So I think, like, if anything, the thing that's frustrating is being like, oh shit, we could have had a bunch of X-Men films like this that would have been just mind-blowingly good.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because, again, you get a sense seeing this of how other powers could have worked within a like R-rated film,
Right, got you.
and it's just so frustrating that we never got a proper like R-rated X-Men film, because I genuinely think, like, to be fair, I think X2 is a genuinely great film on its own, but if they'd have had the balls to do it R-rated like this, it would have been incredible.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, I'm not saying this film is incredible. I'm just saying it's really good to see this character done right at last. The only thing I would say is I think at times they almost get a bit carried away with the fact that they can now say some naughty words. And
Okay.
some of the swearing does feel a little unnecessary, but it's all good fun. It doesn't necessarily make me enjoy the film any less. Story was fine, because I think Hugh Jackman has kind of been saying for a long time now this is going to be his last outing as Wolverine.
Yeah.
And very recently, Patrick Stewart also said this was going to be his last one as well. I think it's a fitting send-off for those two characters. I
Cool.
think fans of the previous films... I mean, you think X-Men's been around for, 16 years now or something? So there will have been people that have grown up with these films. I think they will appreciate how this kind of sends off that character.
Fair enough.
I wasn't very familiar with like the sort of source material that they're drawing from. Like Old Man Logan is a kind of, I think, one of the key touching points that they used.
Yeah, I think I've read one of, like, because there's two that I know of, because there's Wolverine The End,
Yeah.
which was a series, and then there's Old Man Logan, and I've definitely read The End, and I can't remember if I've read Old Man Logan.
Okay. Yeah, like, I haven't read any X-Men stuff, so I don't know like how faithful or how much liberty they've taken. I just was pleased with what I got. Hugh Jackman is great. Patrick Stewart is great. The girl who you see in the trailer,
Yeah,
Daphne Keane,
got you.
she's good. The cast are all pretty much great. The story, good. I enjoyed it. 4 out of 5.
Fair enough.
And that's it. Otherwise, it's too much film talk. And whinge. What have you done?
Oh, you're so angry. This week, Liam,
Yep.
I bought Skyrim remastered on PS4.
God, there we go.
It doesn't. I don't particularly like the films you talk about sometimes, buddy. Just be accepting that we have different tastes.
But the thing is,
Yeah, go on.
you're now gonna like lube yourself up and royally bum Skyrim like for the next 5-10 minutes, and just why? You haven't done your little introduction bit.
I don't remember what it's called.
It's something about here's the things that Jack's done or some shit.
Jack didn't do a lot of stuff, but these are the things that he did do, and now he's going to tell Liam and to the listeners about the things that he did do this week.
Well, that's definitely different.
I know.
I'm not animating a different one.
Just do a really shit animation.
I mean, they're already not great, to be honest.
I don't watch them.
Carry on.
No, it's pretty good, Liam.
You've played it before, haven't you?
I played it on Xbox 360 when it was first came out.
So, okay, all snarkiness aside,
Yeah.
what's different?
So primarily you get the 3 DLCs with it,
Okay.
which I think I had one of the DLCs on the Xbox 360. Because by that point, it's one of those things, like me with games, I tend to be done with them, and then I'm done with them for years. And then,
Yeah.
like, I might then go back and play them again and be like, yep, I love this game. It's really good. But so I never really played. I played whatever one I had. I think it was the vampire one. I can't remember what one that was. But, like, you get that, and then you get, it's, slightly HD.
What do you mean by slightly?
Well, the fucking... I mean, it is HD, but it was HD on 360. But do you know what I mean? Like, when they remaster games and they're like, oh, the graphics are so much better.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, it is better than your original game. But I now play games that look really cool.
Like, do you mean on PC or still on PlayStation?
No, like on PlayStation 4.
So even though they've remastered the graphics, it's still not up to sort of other PlayStation 4 games. Is that what you're saying?
No, some stuff is, but it's whenever they remaster any game, you're always going to have, like, because sometimes it'll be things like the character models are really detailed, but then because of the way the hair was done in the game, it doesn't, it's a weird thing to pick out, but hair.
Yeah, no, genuinely,
Physics
I've noticed, obviously, I've been doing more of The Witcher lately, and it just feels to me like hair and beards particularly, they really struggle with in games, in like these big sprawling RPG games. I've noticed it most obviously.
Yeah, I think it's because it's probably a place that they can afford to drop stuff on.
Yeah, I just wonder, like, is there not a better way for them to animate, like, hair?
I mean, there probably is. And they probably, some games probably do use those ways.
Yeah, like, I'm trying to think, because obviously, like, so the games that, for me, like, okay, so you're talking about Skyrim. The only kind of comparison of a PlayStation 3 game that was ported and supposedly, like, remastered that I've played is The Last of Us.
Yeah, see, that was so late in PS3's life cycle, I don't think it's a fair comparison.
Okay, I'm just saying, like, there's not a lot of beards and stuff in it, but I don't ever recall the hair being, like, noticeably bad.
No,
like
but then it's not in Skyrim. Like, in games like that, I'm never, I don't need good graphics to play a game.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, even like with The Witcher, which was made for PlayStation 4, the hair is still, like, an issue.
Yeah, okay. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's just stuff like that, Liam, in Skyrim. It's noticeable. And then...
everyone seems to love this game, and I just don't get it.
Yeah, I know that you don't like it. That's fine. You don't have to like it.
No, there's plenty of other games for me to be playing.
Yeah, Jesus. But yeah, the other big thing they added was you can install mods, which is, I think, after they did that for Fallout 4.
Yeah.
On PS4 and Xbox, which I love, because I started playing it, and I was playing it without mods, and I got a few trophies for doing generic shit, and then I was like, yeah, I want mods though, and then I had this moment where it's like, well, you're installing mods, and if you install mods and play with the mod, you can't unlock trophies while the mods are on, sort of thing.
Yeah. Which
is fair, because some of the mods are called things like cheat chest.
Yeah.
Which I'm not installing because I don't like cheating in games anymore.
Okay.
But I was like, I've played Skyrim. I don't need the trophies. I want to play this one that adds 400 new spells that let me do pretty much redundant shit, but just adds more stuff to the game.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's good going back and playing it because I love the Elder Scrolls games.
Fair enough.
So it's nice to go back in. I would prefer a new one, but we know that won't happen for a few years.
Yeah, because to create a game that big takes a long time.
Yeah, I mean the gap between like Morrowind and Oblivion, and then Oblivion and Skyrim was quite a large gap.
Yeah,
understandably,
I can't get on with the combat, and that's the one thing that really. So there's two things. The combat really fucks me off, and also there was a lot of stuff to explore, but there never really felt like a point to exploring these things. Like there was never like an in-game incentive or anything where for me to be like, oh, I'm now going to spend 2 hours exploring this dungeon, felt worthwhile.
Yeah, no, but that's like for you. I can see why you wouldn't get it. That's not me saying that in like a mean way. Like, I know what you're liking.
Yeah, just the way I approach games is I like the exploration.
Yeah, which I like as well, but I don't do it I don't feel the need to explore everything.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. Like, the other night, I finished some of the main quest stuff that I was doing, and then I was like, oh, I'm pretty close to this other town that I haven't been to yet, because I'm doing it slowly this time instead. Because when I first played it on Xbox 360, I did the whole walk to every town to unlock them all, because I knew I was going to be going there, and that was long.
Yeah.
But then this time I was like, no, I know that I don't need to go to them yet. I'll do them as they sort of come up in quests and stuff. If I'm playing it like it's an RPG and I'm actually role-playing it.
Yeah.
But then, I just suddenly was like, you know what? I kind of want to walk into the woods and go and find some cool random stuff and see what happens. And I think that's cool. Also, the fact that there's, like, hundreds of books in there I like.
So do you actually sit down and read them all?
No. The only one that I've read is The Lusty Argonian Barmaid, which I think everyone knows about.
I don't.
You wouldn't. I'm not going to tell you about it either, Liam.
I'm okay with that. All right. So you're enjoying that. That's it. Out of interest, how many games do you actually get around to completing?
As in completing the main story?
As in getting to a point where you're like, I'm satisfied with that. I've seen kind of either the story to its resolution, or I've kind of experienced enough of this game that I'm happy to stop playing, and I feel like I've got I feel like I can say I've completed it.
1 in 3, 1 in 4.
Okay. So, because I think last time you spoke about The Last Guardian.
Yeah, I haven't continued that yet. I got stuck on a bit on it, and then I couldn't find the puzzle solution. It wasn't even a puzzle.
Yeah, like I'm just going through games that I know that you played recently. So that all I know is you played that, and Pokemon would be another recent one.
Oh yeah, I still do need to finish that.
All right, so yeah, have you done anything else?
No, that's probably been the main thing.
Because I know last time you watched a lot of anime.
Yep, I haven't watched any more of that these 2 weeks.
All right, and then what was it before the anime
Books.
week? Books. Yeah, any books?
I'm still reading the Culture series.
Cool. That's that then.
Yep.
Housekeeping. So first thing, I have actually been playing more Witcher, as we've already mentioned. It's just the thing with The Witcher, right? I think I've done maybe 50 hours now, and it is just constantly more of the same. Like I feel like for a game this long, at some point it should have switched things up a little bit.
Just stop playing it. That's the thing, Liam. That's the reason you don't get any sympathy from me on this. Just stop playing it.
But I haven't completed it.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think you can complain at this point. Because
Why not?
there is
I
a
won't complete
solution.
it.
Because there's a solution to the problem. And you know the solution, but you refuse to do it.
Yeah, they should make a better game.
No. Yeah, well, that's fine. You can
Or-
have that opinion. That's your opinion. The actual solution is
Yeah.
you just stop playing it because you're not enjoying it.
Or no, but can I ask a genuine question then?
Yes.
If you've got a game like The Witcher 3, where
Uh-huh.
someone like me has played it for 50 hours, and they know that they're about halfway through, so there's probably another 50 hours to go, and the issue is it is just more of the same, why would you not be like, oh, instead of making someone do 100 hours of the same thing over and over and over again, let's just condense it, let's get a really tight, really gripping story in there, some really good missions.
Do you want the
and quests.
legit answer?
Yeah.
Right, the legit answer is they don't make these games for people like you. That's honestly, that sounds like it's me being mean, and it's not.
Who do they make
Like-
them for, though?
They make them for... Because I honestly think that your level of obsession with 100% in games is worse than most people's.
But it's not even like 100%ing that's the issue with this, to be honest.
Well, then why is it taking... I mean, it must be, Liam, because that's why it's taking you so long.
No, I think it's taking me this long just doing quests and stuff.
Yeah, but you're doing most of those quests because you're trying to 100% it.
No,
Because
like-
you didn't... because you didn't get to Skellige at the same time that I did. I got there a fuck ton quicker than you.
Yeah, no, so, sorry, it wasn't 100% in, is I got very distracted by Gwent. That's what happened.
Right.
And then everything just became Gwent for a while. So I went off
Okay.
doing a load of Gwent missions.
Well, that's weird. But in all seriousness, I think you are quite obsessive with trying to do stuff and exploring shit.
Ironically, it kind of depends on the game. Like, so, one of my favourite games, right, Uncharted, is all about exploration. But because I enjoyed the story and everything so much, I know that I will eventually go back and do that, but because I've kind of completed the story, I was satisfied with that experience that I haven't yet felt the need to go back and do all these extra things.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's necessarily like an obsessive need to 100% it.
Well, no. I mean, it is, because that logic, right, is insane. Because you're saying because you enjoyed it, you're not going to fully... you will eventually go back and fully complete it, but you don't feel the need to. So
Yeah, whereas with The Witcher,
the
because
broken
I'm
bit,
not
Liam,
enjoying
isn't
it,
that. That's fine. That wanting to, saying, yep, I've liked that game, I'm going to go back and do it later. That's fine. That's understandable. Saying that you aren't
Yeah.
enjoying a game, so you're being obsessive about it because you want to find a bit you enjoy, is mental. Because there are so many games
no.
that you can just go, I don't want to play this.
It's not even funny, but I want to enjoy it. It's basically, I've got to the stage now where I've done 50 hours. I'm going to complete this 100% and do everything I can possibly do, because I'm never going to go back to it once I stop playing it.
Why? Yeah, but why do it then?
Because I've already done 50 hours.
No.
Might as well
That's
finish
not.
it.
That's not a logical answer. That sounds sensible. That's not. That's genuinely not a sensible answer. People that say I've already done so much, I should just carry on. That's insane. You don't need to do that. You're wasting more of your time.
Well, yeah, but
Because at the end of it, Liam, you're getting nothing. You will have spent, when you look back, you'll go, I'll have spent whatever, 100 hours, whatever it ends up being. You'll go, I spent all of that time. If you stop now, you can look back and go, I spent 50 hours, and that's all I did.
Right, here we go. I go, I spent 50 hours, I got a few trophies. I spent 100 hours, got a platinum, done, happy, next.
But here's the thing, Liam. I don't even think you really care about the platinums, honestly, because you've never particularly boasted about them. I don't see you posting on forums being like, guys, I platinumed this game. I don't
but
think
that's
you
'cause I'm not a
actually care
dickhead.
about them. Yeah, but you don't. I don't know. It's but then what's the point? You're not using it for bragging rights. The trophies.
No,
you don't
it's
care.
personal fulfillment. It makes me
It
happy
isn't
inside.
though. It isn't though. I honestly don't believe you. Yeah. I don't think you're going to look back at the end of The Witcher 3 and go, I feel like I'm a better person. I've fulfilled myself by playing this game for a ridiculous amount of time, and I didn't enjoy it, but I got a platinum trophy.
Well, there's only one way to find this out.
No, what are you talking about? Because you'll just lie, obviously.
No,
You'll get to the end and you're going to say to me, oh, I felt really proud about achieving it. And then I'll go, but guess what, Liam? In the 100 hours that you spent playing that game, I played about 10 and I had fun with all of them. And then when I got bored of them, I just stopped.
I can't do that, though. Once I've started something, I have to see it through.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yep. Anyway, have you done anything else like Berserk or...
No.
Pokemon?
No, I just stop things. I just go, I'm done.
Well,
Pokemon I am still playing. I just need to sit down and get back into it again.
okay. We had a message from Joanna on Twitter.
Oh yeah, was this about blue is the warmest colour?
Yeah, so Joanna's the one that suggested we watch this ages ago.
And had forgotten that she suggested it.
And then she sent us a message about why she recommended it. But I think we literally got the message about 10 minutes after we finished recording the episode.
Oh, that's right,
So,
yes.
Yeah, so here we go. It said, for all it's worth, I loved the film. The story felt true to me, and the characters seemed very raw. The way Adele moves, eats, talks, it doesn't seem like acting. It's all very real. It feels real. And that's most of what I remember.
I mean, she's right. But I did, yeah.
What do you mean?
I still didn't like the film. I mean, it was like, wasn't it like him basically just filming them for 400 hours?
Yeah, and then making a film out of that.
So yeah, she's right. It probably did feel quite real.
Yeah, just maybe too real for you.
I was just dead inside after the first half hour.
What did you dislike more? Blue is the warmest colour or Mutual Appreciation?
Blue is the warmest colour because it was longer.
So if I made you watch Mutual Appreciation back to back,
yeah,
what would you hate more?
How long is blue? How long is
It's an hour 40.
So it would be slightly longer than blue is the warmest colour. That one.
Okay. We also we you know how at the end of every show we say to people, rate and review us on iTunes if you don't mind. If you got a minute, it'd be lovely. It'd really help us out.
Yep, and they always do. We get troves and just loads of reviews.
They never fucking do, Jack. Until
how many
now,
reviews do we have, Liam?
4. We've got 4 reviews and 5 ratings. Bearing in mind we've been doing this for over a year now. That's like 1 review every 4 months.
I get it though. I get why you guys aren't doing it. Don't worry about it.
Why aren't they doing it?
Oh, it's just hot. It's just like you can never be bothered. I get it.
Well, we got one.
Yeah, we've both read it already.
Yeah, I'm going to read it out now though.
Yeah, I think you should.
Okay.
I definitely think you should.
So it's from, and I apologise if I butcher this name, but it does look like you just vomited letters onto a keyboard. J. Shuxney Bevij.
I hope that's not their real name, Liam, because you just said it looked like he vomited letters onto his keyboard.
If this is a real name, I can only apologise. But it honestly doesn't look like
He'll
it.
retract his review. We only have 4.
Well, no, we've got 4 reviews and 5 ratings. So if they retract it, we'd only have 3.
Jesus.
But it's JSHUXNEBEVEJ. And I've looked at this name in detail to see if there's like a hidden message within it. I couldn't see one.
Okay. Just read the review.
It's titled Orgasmic. Here we
Accurate.
go. Jack and Liam are 2 nerds. Also
True.
accurate. I jack off to their voices and explode to their stories. I couldn't help but notice that Liam said that he had a girlfriend. For the next culture clash, incorrect. I'd like to see him attempt the Alaskan fire dragon with her. Jack, I would also be appreciative if you attempted this with a male/female counterpart if you're able to find one before next week. Good podcast.
Wait, Liam.
5 stars.
Liam.
Yeah.
Spell me the username again.
JSHUXNEBEVEJ. What?
I think I know who it is, or who it might be.
Who do you think it might be?
I think it's one of the 4 lads.
Why do you think that?
Because that's the kind of thing they would do.
Okay. Well, thank you for leaving a 5-star review. We do appreciate that. I am appreciative of this review, and please don't retract it because of Jack's
I'm going to
comments.
kill off all their characters in D&D.
I have a question for you though, Jack.
Go on.
Now, I very deliberately haven't looked this up because I wanted to discuss this with you.
Okay.
Do you know what an Alaskan fire dragon is?
No, I was going to Google it and didn't.
Right, okay. I'm pleased you did it because I want us to now try and figure out what that could possibly be.
Okay, well, Alaskan...
Is cold.
Yeah, it's sort of like Eskimo.
Yeah.
So, and an Eskimo kiss, they're called Inuits now. I don't know if you call it an Inuit kiss. I don't know. That's when you rub your nose on the other person's nose.
Yep.
So, is an Alaskan fire dragon
Yeah.
where you poop into a woman's mouth?
How are we getting... Where's the fire?
Well, you have a curry beforehand.
Oh, okay, yeah, makes sense. Good. Pleased you clarified that.
Yeah.
See, I was thinking...
I apologise for that, listeners. I genuinely made myself feel sick saying it.
See, I was wondering if, like a snow job?
No, I don't.
It's where a lady would put, like, ice cubes in her mouth and then give someone a blowjob.
Why?
I imagine, like... like, how you... Like, it's quite common in movies, like, they'll tease them with ice cubes. Like, that extreme kind of temperature is supposed to, like, be quite thrilling, I guess.
It would just melt and dribble out.
Yeah, no, I guess so. My guess of what an Alaskan fire dragon is...
Yeah.
Is they'd put ice cubes in their mouth and then you just piss in their mouth.
Cool. We've definitely figured it out. It's something scatological.
Should we look it up?
No, I think we should. Yeah, go on. What is it?
No, do we have any other theories before we look this up?
No, I think we should. I think we should stick with that. I have faith that one of us is right.
All right, I'm Urban Dictionary, Alaskan fire dragon. Okay, so the top definition just said, so the Urban Dictionary definition made you curious too. Doesn't help. The third definition, more helpful, a fire-breathing dragon from Alaska. But then the second one, I think, is where we really strike gold. According to UrbanDictionary.com, when a man is just about to ejaculate while receiving oral sex, he pushes down the woman's head, leans in, and says something shocking, such as, "I have herpes." The woman will choke and try to pull back. The man then ejaculates into the back of her throat while she is choking, forcing the semen through her nostrils. This is similar to laughing while drinking milk.
Jesus. Let's move on.
That was housekeeping.
Culture swap.
Swap my culture. Notably, not culture clash.
Yeah, that's true.
Hellblazer.
Original Sins.
Yeah, Volume 1. The thing is...
Spoilers ahead, listeners.
Oh, well remembered, Jack. You're almost getting quite pro at this.
Oh, it's great, isn't it?
Almost. Someone at the comic book shop recommended John Constantine to me, and the way they described him made him sound really interesting, and I was very excited to read it.
Yeah.
I feel like they missold.
No.
Okay,
wait,
okay. Let me back up.
I've got a legit answer, Liam. Not
Yeah.
like an answer. I've got
Go
a
on.
legit thing.
Go on.
So the issue with anything like this, which I personally think is, a thing, is that when you get suggested a character from a comic book, I always think it's better to start with either, midway through it, so like back in the
when they're more
90s or
formed.
noughties. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I always think if you go back to these original comics, unless you already love the character, it's going to be a bit weird.
Yeah, they're still trying to figure shit out.
And it was a different era. Like, all the, was the 80s the Silver Age or the Golden Age? Probably the Silver Age.
Fuck knows, mate. It's the 80s.
I can never remember when it was. But yeah, all those old sort of comics are a little bit weird, I think.
Yeah?
Weird to go back to and start from is probably a better way of saying it.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I was going to say, like, I'm sure when they recommend this character, they do mean, like, later on it gets better. And there's definitely, I can see, like, the potential for this character to be really interesting. Just, I don't think this is a good starting point for this character.
No, I would probably agree with that.
So do you want to give a sort of brief what it's about?
Yes, it was... How many stories was it, Liam?
I don't know, it was a lot. It was like, I want to say 8, but that could be wrong.
Do you want me to grab my phone and get it up?
I'm checking now.
Okay, cool.
It's just being a bit of a slow little bitch.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5. No, that's more. 1, 2,
11.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, obviously.
So, it's 11 stories.
10 of which were written by Jamie Delano.
And one of which was
Delano.
written by Rick Veitch. Yep.
Yeah.
2 of them are Swamp Thing stories, which we'll talk about later. And
Yes.
9 of them are proper Hellblazer Constantine stories.
Yep.
They're the original issues of Hellblazer.
Who was the art by?
Don't remember.
John Ridgway.
It was good. I actually quite liked the art in this.
That was only for the first 6.
I liked the
And
art
then-
in all of them.
Yeah, I think you notice there is a very distinct shift in Ghosts in the Machine. Not necessarily bad, you just notice it has changed.
Yeah, no, there were definitely points where I was like, oh, I can see that something's different here.
So John Ridgway still did contribute to the art in that, but also Brett Ewins and Jim McCarthy. Intensive Care doesn't even list who did the art.
There was no art.
Same with Shot to Hell.
Don't worry about it, Liam.
Well, I feel like it's bad that the artists aren't being credited.
It's probably because they were like continued from last month. Anyway, it's these stories. Because they're all sort of self-contained. Like, they start tying together more.
Yeah, the first couple are very much self-contained, but then things that are happening in the background start reoccurring.
Yeah, certain groups, the Knights of Resurrection, start appearing more.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like, I mean, that's effectively what it is. I don't know how else to describe this graphic novel. It is those stories, and they're all just sort of looking at John Constantine, who's a alcoholic, cigarette smoking, exorcist / magician.
Yeah, that's an accurate enough description, I think.
It's kind of weird because it drops you in, which I quite like.
Yeah.
Like, issue 1 drops you in, and there have been these big events in his life already.
Yeah.
That we know nothing about. And I don't know if that's because he started in Swamp Thing, and I don't know whether if you go back to those Swamp Thing things, maybe it deals with them more, or maybe it doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they just thought, let's give this guy a backstory that we can allude to. But,
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's very obviously big... Like, there's the...
Newcastle
Nevada,
incident?
Is it? Oh, Newcastle, yeah, the Newcastle incident, that's it.
Yeah.
Where, like, a bunch of his friends died who are now haunting him.
I like that aspect.
Yeah.
I thought that was quite nicely handled. The thing, I really enjoyed the first, like, handful of stories.
The first story is the best story in the graphic novel.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I then found when they started to kind of try and get things more like integrated, like they tried to have these reoccurring plot devices and things, it then just felt like it kind of it stopped being as good, I think.
See, I didn't mind that stuff.
Yeah, like, I actually, to be fair, there was a story where it's about his niece goes missing.
Yeah,
I thought that was really good as well. And that's probably the first story where these kind of background things start really coming to the front.
Yeah, because that's the Knights of Resurrection.
Yeah.
His sister and her husband have joined them.
Yeah.
And then some Satanist a Satanist from the Damnation Army.
Yeah.
I like that name.
It sounds like a punk band name.
Yes, it does. But yeah, bad stuff happens.
Another thing that
happens.
I don't think worked very well here, I see what they were trying to do, but they tried to integrate a lot of like real world politics and stuff into it. And for me,
but it was from the 80s.
Yeah, no, I get that. I'm just saying it didn't work for me. Like I didn't think that was a good inclusion.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense because we weren't around in the 80s.
I was
Only just
3 years of it.
Yeah, I don't think 3-year-old Liam was concerned with Margaret Thatcher.
Well, he should have been.
I thought because I get what you're saying, but then the bit that I did think was quite cool or interesting was maybe interesting because some of it was a bit weird. But one of Constantine's like close friends is a homosexual man.
Yes, that was good.
And some of the stuff, like, it was really good because it's like John Constantine is his friend and there's a bit where he thinks another gay guy's getting beaten up.
Yeah.
And he says, he's like, oh, I don't want to get involved, but I can't help but picture it being, I can't remember the character's name.
Ray.
He says, I can't help but picture it being Ray.
Yeah.
So I'm going to help.
Yeah, and that, especially for the time when he had that AIDS scare and everything going on.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was a really good part, I thought.
Like, it's quite impressive that a comic, I don't know what other comics were doing at the time particularly, but it's quite impressive that they were like, yeah, no, we're going to have a character that has got AIDS as well.
Yeah, and he has a friend who's, like, not kind of shun him for it or anything.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So I thought that was quite interesting. I do get what you mean about the politics. It doesn't resonate,
it's not
I'm
even
also
that it
aware
resonates. It just it's good in that it grounds it in a time. It's just every now and again they'll throw out like this edgy political statement, which I'm sure at the time fine, but it feels shoehorned in. It doesn't feel like a natural part of the.
Oh, I don't know. I thought it felt kind
story.
of. I thought it fit.
It didn't work for me, but that's just me.
Fair enough.
What I was reading about it, they did say one of the interesting things about this is as the comic has progressed, that the sort of and the political history has changed. The comic has kept up with that.
Oh, okay.
So like that, there's stuff that references like the war on terror and that from more recent years.
Oh, fair enough.
Which I think is quite an interesting thing you don't often see necessarily in a lot of comics.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So it could be that, like, if we carried on reading this and it got more relevant and more timely, again, it's going to depend how it's integrated into the story. I never felt that any of the political stuff so far has really been, like, worth putting in from a plot perspective.
Yeah, no, it's not, but it's not in there for the plot.
It just is in there to give you some background, like, shorthand.
Yeah, I think
of
it's
what's
just
going
establishing,
on.
like, because my guess to how that stuff really ties in is you're seeing Constantine, because I don't know how much listeners know about Constantine, and I don't know a shit ton.
I don't know a lot.
But I used to really like the Constantine film.
The what, with Keanu Reeves?
Yeah, I genuinely like that film. I think it's a good film.
Never seen it.
Reading this was really interesting
Okay.
because a bunch of shit that happens in this happens in the film.
Okay.
And it was kind of interesting to be like, oh wow, that film actually did, like, it didn't stick to the comics, but a lot of the stuff that happens in it, I was like, oh, I know this scene
Yeah, that's cool.
because I've watched it. So that was quite interesting. But, like, Constantine's whole thing is he's not, like, I know in this he fights a lot of demons,
Yeah.
but they establish in the film, and he mentions it in here, that he's not fighting the bad guys or the good guys. He's basically keeping the balance. Like, there's this whole idea of keeping the balance between heaven and hell.
Yeah.
That's how things are meant to work. Like, heaven's not meant to win, and neither's hell, because neither one is great if it wins.
Yeah, and I think that aspect of it is what made me think most of Preacher, which we did a while back on the podcast.
Yeah. Constantine's not. He's obviously a good guy.
Yeah.
But he's also kind of a dickhead.
No, I think he's an anti-hero because, like, while you say he's obviously a good guy, I think while he does good things, he's not a good guy in that he will happily, like, dick over his friends and stuff to get to that end result of, you know...
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, a good guy is in, like, if something bad is happening...
He'll step in.
Yeah, exactly. If the world is going to end, Constantine's like, fine, I'll deal with this.
Yeah, but he's not
He will,
the sort
but
of
he will
person
then
that's like-
sacrifice his friends to achieve that goal.
Yeah, he's not the sort of person that's like, I'm going to find a situation, like a scenario where everyone comes out of this happy.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely not.
Yeah.
Which I like about him.
Yeah, I think that's one of the more compelling sort of character traits, I guess. Because it's interesting, not only seeing him do that sort of thing, but also, like you said, with the ghosts that follow him, it's interesting seeing that guilt does weigh on him to an extent. But I feel like there's definitely, from what we've read so far, there's a lot more to be drawn from that aspect than what we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, I legitimately am tempted to keep reading.
Yeah, like, while I overall didn't enjoy this massively, I have to admit I am curious if it gets better. Because I think that there's potential here, and, like, the building blocks have been placed now. I'd be curious to read the next one just to see where it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I have a weird, not fascination, but I really enjoy, like, one of my favourite comic book series of all time, probably, is a series called Lucifer.
Okay.
Which is by Vertigo/DC. And Constantine appears in it, and, you know, has cameos.
Yeah.
And it's literally about Lucifer.
Yeah.
And deals with all this stuff with it. Like, I can't remember if he lost his powers, or he's, like, just left hell. He's just like, I'm fed up of hell.
Yeah.
And it's this really, like, I'm fascinated by things like this that take the Christian mythology / maybe not mythology if you're a Christian, I apologise if I offended you, but mythology, and, like, does weird things with it. Like, because there's a scene in this where a priest is trying to stop a demon by holding up a cross.
Yeah.
And Constantine's just like, he's like, oh, it's either going to pick me or him. And then he tries to help the priest. Then someone's like, no, Constantine, it's going to kill you. So he just goes, fair enough, and, like, bails.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I feel sorry for the priest. And you just see the priest getting murdered. And I was like, yeah, that's fair enough.
So you did touch on it being like a DC Vertigo thing. So we spoke about this briefly before. I tried to read Sandman, I think a year or two ago, which is also another DC Vertigo print. And one of the things that kind of bothered me is that they shoehorned in the Justice League to that story in an entirely unnecessary way that just didn't work. And it's disappointing that the same things happened here, I think, in that the last two stories start with talking about Batman and Superman and Darkseid, and then Swamp Thing appears, and like you said, like, the character originated from Swamp Thing. I get that. I thought it was the weakest part of the book.
Right. Here's my, not counterpoint, because I do agree with you.
Yeah.
But I don't mind that Swamp Thing is part of Constantine. Because I think the way they've tied it together is sort of makes sense. Because from what I understand, and again, I don't know much about Swamp Thing, like, even less than I know about Constantine. And from what we sort of glean in this is that Swamp Thing is part of the balance of keeping everything between heaven and hell. Like he's something called the element or something.
Yeah,
and I don't mind that because and I don't mind that because that ties together. That's fine if they've got a story reason for it.
Yeah,
I can deal with it, and I assume that Swamp Thing's probably going to be coming up in. If I keep reading, I'm sure he'll pop up more.
Again. Yeah.
Which I'm fine with.
But the thing is,
but I agree with you because I don't like I get that they're in the universe, so I can see why they'd mention Superman and Batman. But I think it's the fact that the person that says it to him is so involved in another story that's clearly going on at that point.
Yeah, and the other thing is, it's the Swamp Thing stuff. I felt was really, really badly explained. Like I read those two stories, and to be honest, I still don't know really what they were about and what was happening.
No, honestly, when I read the first one, I spent most of it being like, who's this Abby chick?
Yes.
And then because she had grey hair, I was like, have we jumped forward? Is this meant to be
Zed?
Zed?
Yeah.
Like there was that whole first issue. I was like, is this Zed but boning Swamp Thing and now hates Constantine? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, and was it like Constantine had been sort of possessed or something by Swamp Thing?
Yeah, Swamp Thing. So Swamp Thing needs a human body.
Yeah.
To impregnate Abby, his wife/girlfriend.
Yeah.
So that they can have some sort of spiritual creature baby, which is which is going to be the next Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
That we get.
Yeah.
From the story, but so he possesses Constantine.
Yeah. Don't know why.
Nope. Don't understand because Abby specifically says to him, "It's weird that you picked Constantine because I don't like him."
Yeah, and it's also weird because something that happens previously does play into it in that Constantine's blood has been tainted by a demon, which does play into that story. It's referenced. So
yeah.
It just seemed really bizarre. This story just seemed to come so out of left field with such little explanation. Yet, because it's referencing like things that have happened previously in Constantine, it feels like I felt like I should have known what was going on.
Yeah, I think it was a weird inclusion for them to put in.
Yeah,
because clearly you have to have read whatever the build-up story is in the Swamp Thing series.
Yeah, it was.
So it definitely is a very weird inclusion.
Yeah,
I think that's probably my biggest complaint was those two stories.
Yeah, they really were weak. I mean, to be fair, like
I don't know if weak's the right word.
Confusing.
Yeah, because I think they're probably not weak if we had also read the Swamp Thing stuff, or one of us loved Swamp Thing, we'd probably be like, oh, it's really cool that that's in there because it's super important in
that's true.
This
but
storyline.
Then you kind of have to wonder, like, okay, so you've done this book and you're selling it as John Constantine Hellblazer. Like, how much of your audience is actually going to come to this being like, I love Swamp Thing and I'm so pleased about these two stories?
I mean, probably quite a lot.
Do you really think so?
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with that.
People that like 80s Constantine, who was introduced, they probably got into him through the Swamp Thing universe. Like, I've read some Swamp Thing, and Swamp Thing's quite cool.
I don't think it's a lot, personally, but what do I know?
I think it probably is. I would guess that it would be more than you think.
Okay. The other issue I had is, even though, like you said, they try and tie stories together, when I finished reading a story, I never felt particularly compelled to go back and carry on reading, which is why I was still reading it up until about half an hour before we recorded, and I had to plough through the last 5 stories today because it just didn't grip me and have me like my favourite ever comic I've read is the Walking Dead comic, because I'll finish a volume and then immediately be like, fuck, I need to read what happens next. Like, it just grips me and really gets me feeling like that. This, I read a story, it's like, oh, okay, fine, put it down, didn't feel the need to go back.
I think, again, I agree with you, but again, I think that can be explained by the fact that it's going back and reading these 80s storylines.
Possibly, but
I think honestly, I think that they probably are good, and there are some 80s and earlier comics that are really good.
Yeah, I mean, Preacher was 80s, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
Like Preacher, I really, really enjoyed.
But it's also this is like a, serialized part of a universe. It's different to the comics you're talking about now. Like, that's not a positive. I'm not saying that in a good, so forgive it. I totally agree with what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay, so Preacher was 95.
Okay.
The only other sort of oldish comic I've read is I read a volume of Judge Dredd, like when he first started in 2000 AD, I think it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that they've done these big volumes of case files where they collect a whole bunch of stories, and I mean that would have been probably before the 80s, maybe.
Yeah, I think it was.
I really struggled with that one as well. So it could just be that, because I don't have a lot of like knowledge of the time, maybe, or passion.
Not even that. I just think there's stuff from that era was written differently. Comics worked a different way.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's interesting, but it's not. Yeah, we are used to the modern style of comics.
Yeah, which to us is better.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I definitely think it'd be interesting to keep reading with this and see how it does evolve over time.
Yeah.
But again, like, so when was Berserk? I mean, you think...
but that's manga. That's a totally separate
Yeah, but that's
thing.
what I'm saying. Like, if the only thing that's different is the fact that it's 80s and the comic was a little bit, like, done differently...
No. Okay, so what I'm saying when I say the 80s was different, I mean there's literally the Golden Age, Silver Age, and whatever, I can't remember what they call them. And the comics from those eras are completely different. Like, the Western... I don't know much about manga and how it has changed over time.
No.
But I haven't heard... There probably are big divides as well. But I know for a fact that, Golden Age comics were around when the war was and stuff, and just after the war. So they have a very specific way of telling a story where it's like the hero, the villain, and it's all very obvious.
Yeah,
that's the way it is. And then, like, Silver Age, they started to get a little bit darker, I think, which is where... So this is probably Silver Age, to be honest.
So, that you speaking about the war reminded me of the story when Johnny comes marching home.
Yes.
What did you think of that one?
It was fine.
So basically, John Constantine goes to this town in America, and...
Can you name the town, Liam?
Not from memory, no.
Nope, neither can I.
But basically, a group of sort of... Was it the Vietnamese War? It had to be, right?
Yeah, it was the Vietnam War, yeah.
Yeah. A group from this town who were in the army just disappeared, right?
Yeah. Well, they're MIA. I think they died.
Yeah, that's what we're led to assume. But then, like, several decades later, they reappear in this town, but they're seeing the town as a sort of Vietnamese village.
Yes.
And Constantine's sort of just really watching and not getting that involved.
Yeah, there was a couple of weird bits in it that I was like, I don't get what Constantine's doing or what they're trying to say by him not doing stuff.
What do you mean?
When he watches a man rape a woman.
Yeah.
And he says, I could get involved, but it's dangerous, so I won't.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. From what I've read on the other stuff, this hasn't been the way I'd imagine you would deal with this.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, and so this could just be on memory because I read this like a week ago on a plane. Is it ever explained what's actually going on there?
No, not hugely.
Okay.
But because I was trying to figure out the Swamp Thing stuff, so I read a bit about this graphic novel.
Yeah.
And so people were saying it's the ghosts of that dude's platoon. Because it's basically one guy survived.
Yeah.
And came back and everyone in the town hates him except his wife.
Yeah.
And he has horrifying flashbacks and eventually joins up with his ghost teammates. He's the one that does the raping, and it's not very nice.
No, but it was a really interesting idea.
Yeah. It felt a little bit American.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I always find when you're watching anything with Americans in the Vietnamese War,
yeah,
there's you can always tell when something's American and dealing with it.
In what way?
Because I don't know.
Okay. So from what I've seen from films and media that deals with the Vietnamese War, it always seems very like, what's the word? Like two kind of angles to it. There's one angle where it does adopt this like critical stance of the whole war. And there will always be a character or someone who's like, why are we even here fighting this anyway? But then you've also got the other stance of like, America, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I don't know. It's always like, it just feels weird to me, the Vietnamese War.
Yeah, but I think it was a weird war, like, in that whole...
Well, no, it was a horrible war that definitely didn't need to be...
Yeah, no, but it was also like the first ever like televised war as well.
Yeah, it was a full-on messed up situation.
Yeah.
But like, this deals with it well in some parts of it deals with it well.
Well, do you think...
It's showing that they did horrible things.
Do you think it's kind of... Because I think, again, like... I know I keep referring back to it, but I find Preacher does have like comparisons to this that are interesting, and I think the Vietnamese War is a part of the Preacher comics.
I don't know if I've got to that point.
No, I think it's a couple of volumes in.
Okay.
Do you think with this, the thing that made me a bit not uncomfortable, but a bit unsure, is having John Constantine, who is supposed to be this like embodiment of Britishness almost, or like a version of Britishness, not like drinking tea, stiff upper lip, but definitely is supposed to represent, I think, the British counterculture. Maybe having him witness this like American thing, it felt a bit like what we were talking about last episode with Blue is the Warmest Colour, where we were saying, is a straight male person the right person to be telling this story? Again, is Constantine the right area for this to be
written
dealt
by
with?
Americans?
Was it? I didn't know that.
Probably. I mean, it's Vertigo.
Okay, but okay, I didn't know if it was or not.
I mean, I don't know if the writer himself is American, but it's an American company.
Yeah.
So I imagine,
But having this like American atrocity seen through the eyes of a British person.
Well, yeah, but like you said, this was the first like televised war, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like a thing like Blue is the Warmest Colour where it's the lesbian culture and, which is a very personal thing. It's a specific person experiencing something and a group of people all experiencing it who all have the same thing. The Vietnamese War was a war.
Yeah. So, okay.
Like, I feel like that's very different. I think if anything, I think they were trying to do a message. I don't know if they were. But I think they were trying to be like, that's what everyone else was like.
Well,
You've got America and Vietnam had these two things going on, and the rest of the world watched.
Thinking about it then, because one of the things I like about this podcast is it actually gets me thinking quite critically about some of the stuff that we talk about.
Okay.
Because I'm really guilty of like, I'll read a book or like a comic book or watch a film and then just be like, those are my thoughts, and not really like analyse it.
Yeah, we both do that.
Yeah. Now talking about this and actually thinking about it, and you saying that bit where he just watches the guy rape the girl.
Yeah.
Do you think it's therefore the fact that it's a British person doing that? This could be read as like a criticism of Britain not getting involved and just being like a bystander watching these horrible things happen.
It feels I think it definitely could be. It just felt really out of place to me. Like, I liked the story when I read it.
It was really interesting.
And now looking at it more, I'm like, it does feel a bit weird.
Yeah, it definitely, like, if it compared to the rest of the stories, it is probably one of the more different ones.
Yeah.
But it was probably one of my favourite ones. Like, I think my favourite was definitely the first one.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, I did really enjoy this one, and I really enjoyed the one with the niece.
Yeah.
But the rest, honestly, kind of didn't have enough to them that made me really like draw to them.
Well, I know you didn't like the second story particularly
With the farting demon.
Yeah, well, he didn't though. His name was Fart.
Yeah, it was just felt a bit.
He was like the Lord of Flatulence.
Yeah, that felt a bit silly.
But yeah, that's just one part of it. I thought the actual story itself was quite interesting.
Which was demons trading in on.
Effectively,
like,
instead of it being like, so you have the first story is a demon that just possesses people and forces them to eat non-stop whilst it consumes them.
Well, it says but when you say eat, it's not necessarily food either. It's whatever they most desire, isn't it?
No,
I thought the whole point was it was a demon that capitalized on whatever it was that you desired.
It's not that it's not what you desired. It was the idea of obsession and desire. So it targets a drug addict.
Yeah.
But when that guy doesn't break free and eat anyone, but like the people that he possesses, everyone eats something. None of them are like, when he takes the bodybuilder doesn't obsessively work out till he dies. The bodybuilder eats his own arm.
Okay.
Because it's the demon is drawn to desire, like you said.
Yeah.
But what it does to people is it just makes them hungry.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, you're right. It
but it's not just
on
food.
People that, no.
That's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's anyone that has a huge desire or hunger for something.
Yeah, and then it makes you consume that, literally.
Yes, fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've got that as the first story, which is a very, violent, in your face, this is what demons do.
Yeah.
And then the second story, they're still violent and horrible demons, but they're like stockbroker demons.
Yeah, it's all about class, basically.
Yeah, and I just like the fact that the way Constantine wins that one, whereas the first one, it's like this big magical thing they've got to do to solve it.
Yeah.
The way Constantine wins the second one is he effectively just makes their market crash.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then doesn't even get punished at the end by the demon. The demon's just like, I'll get you at some point.
Yeah. Which, might happen still.
Yeah, I'm sure that demon probably comes back later on.
Yeah.
But I just like the idea of, I didn't have to do magic to fix this problem. I just sort of made a rumour
Yeah.
and tricked them into
I just
thinking souls weren't
outwitted.
worth as much.
Yeah. So did you also read it on an iPad?
I read it on my phone,
Fine.
on
Okay.
the Kindle app.
So this is my second time ever reading a comic on the iPad. The first one was Archie, which is great, by the way.
Sure.
While I found it kind of annoying to read on the iPad what I'm about to talk about, I did like the way that the double page spreads were laid out.
Okay.
Like, I thought the artwork, and particularly when it came to like the double page spreads, how the panels were positioned, that sort of thing.
I don't know how yours works on Comixology.
I read it on Kindle.
Oh, okay. So were you using the zoom thing where it like, so effectively I was getting if it was a single page,
Yeah,
I could see the whole page,
yeah.
but I could put it into the mode where it would zoom on whatever cell was next. Sort of.
Yeah,
So
I could do that, but I didn't enjoy reading it that way. I was just reading it page by page.
See, I had to do it that way because it was on my phone.
Right, got you. Yeah, so reading it page by page, when it came to like the big double page, I'd have to zoom in to read the text, and then like navigate around the page. So that's why I was saying it was a bit annoying to do.
Yeah,
But
see,
it did
I think
look
you should
good.
honestly. I reckon it's worth trying that zoom feature they've got where it goes on the cells, because it when you first turn to the page,
Yeah.
it starts with the whole page, so you can see the artwork.
Right. Okay.
But then the next swipe takes you into the cells in order, so it's it's actually quite good. I didn't like it when I first tried it ages ago, but I'm actually all right with it, especially if you're on a phone. I think
Yeah.
it was definitely
That's
a
fair.
good
enough.
way of doing it.
Well, I'm hoping at some point to get a bigger iPad, because this one I've got is a work one. It's quite old.
Fair enough.
Which I think if you get one of the bigger screens, it's not going to be an issue at all then, because you probably read the double page spread without having to zoom in anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
One thing I did notice, because I do actually have this as a book as well, but because I was travelling, I didn't want to carry a heavy book with me. The colours on the iPad are a lot more vibrant and clear. Like, the book is actually kind of faded,
Yeah.
which,
I mean, that makes sense.
in what way?
Well, it's digital.
Yeah, no,
Well,
but like,
you know.
obviously, the book isn't an old book or anything.
No, but they've probably enhanced that. Like, they probably scanned them. I don't know where they store all the original files and stuff, but they probably scan it in and then have enhanced it.
Yeah, and again, I
make
think
it look
the
right.
double page spread, it's annoying when you're trying to read something like that in a book, because you always lose some content in the crease.
Yes.
So it's good getting that on the iPad. I'm just, for a first time reading a big comic like this on an iPad, I was pleasantly pleased with how it worked.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
And again, if it will help me not have to buy a huge library of things if I can just purchase it on the iPad when I want it.
That's true.
So it's
So,
going
Liam.
to save me money.
Oh god. So Liam,
Yeah.
what do you give Hellblazer, Original Sins, John Constantine, Volume 1 out of 5?
Because there was 11 stories and I only really liked 3 of them, it's going to have to be a 2 out of 5.
Okay.
Like, I might read the second one to see if that improves, and I think it could improve, but for this volume, 2 out of 5.
Fair enough.
How about yourself, Jack?
I think I give it 3 out of 5.
Okay, that sounds about right.
Yeah. But Liam,
Yeah.
there's a bigger question.
Oh, okay, here we go.
It's a huge question.
Okay.
I don't know if you're aware, but Mother's Day's coming up soon in the UK.
Oh, I'm pleased you told me that. I have to get a card and book a table at a restaurant.
Oh, exciting.
Yep.
And we thought, Liam, didn't we? We've said maybe we should do a Mother's Day special.
Yeah, because... And the whole reason for this is...
Because we love our mums.
There's that, but also...
So Liam, just leave it at that because that sounds better.
Yeah, no, but also, like, we generally wouldn't want our mums to listen to this show. Because we
No, that's fair.
swear a lot, we talk about naughty things, like, we don't necessarily want our mums to listen to some of the stuff we discuss.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, there was an
Alaskan
entire
fire
episode
dragons.
where we wrote sex stories, so...
Yeah. So the idea is, it would be nice to have an episode that we could play to our mums and they could be all proud of us.
Yeah, exactly. And but that meant we had to think, Liam, about, what we were going to talk about for Culture Swap, because, a lot of the stuff we watch is not appropriate for our mums to listen to us talk about.
No, definitely not.
So we sat down
yeah.
together and we had a chat and we said, what is
Like the
most
motherly
the
thing.
most mum thing?
And
that we could talk
I
about?
contributed by saying, well, I think last year my mum only went to the cinema once. So that definitely helped us sort of focus in, didn't it?
Oh, definitely. But also this thing was known for, slightly older women.
Yeah. Mature women, shall we say.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They, it was definitely targeted towards them.
Yeah. They
100%.
seem to love it.
Yeah, exactly. And we thought, hey, how can we get closer to our mums? than by watching something that they so clearly love.
Yeah.
So, Liam, what are we watching for next time?
On the next episode, we're going to be watching 50 Shades of Grey.
It's so obvious, isn't it, listeners? You've all just gone, of course they are.
Yeah, I'm going to try and get my mum to write in with her thoughts on it. You might actually watch it with your mum if you're brave enough. I think.
Maybe.
I really want you to.
I don't know if I want to.
No, but that's partly why I really want you to.
We'll see.
We at least need to get her thoughts, I think, on it, even if she hasn't necessarily seen or read it.
Yeah, I don't even know if she has.
No, but she'll be aware of it, right?
Probably, yeah, I assume so.
So it'd be good to know why she hasn't read it, maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe you could just watch it with her and then get some immediate
We'll see.
thoughts from her.
You saying it more doesn't make it happen.
Damn it. But yeah,
Yeah,
so,
I like that our main problem is that we can't let our mums listen to this because, we do too much swearing and sex.
but actually, they probably love that.
So we've gone for 50 Shades of Grey.
I think the thing is, right, our
That it's going to be
mums-
horrible to watch.
Yeah, well, no, let's be open-minded about it. It might be good.
Sorry, yep, that's fair.
I think the thing is, our mums are probably totally fine with swearing and sex and stuff, just not us doing that particularly together.
I don't know if my mum would care that much.
To be fair, same. But
Yeah, it's more funny if we pretend that they are.
Yeah, in my head, ooh, they'd be livid.
Yeah.
So yeah, next episode, a Mother's Day special. And also, let's also remember that we have a listener who made her mum listen to one of our episodes.
Yeah.
And they didn't like all of the sex talk. So they're going to love next episode. Like this is the episode, right? If you're a fan of us, and we know there's some of you out there, and we appreciate
Yeah,
that.
you exist.
If you want to be like, look, Mum, this is what I'm a fan of. This is what I'm into. This will be the episode for you.
Yeah, we are making this episode for you to share with your mum.
Yeah, mother friendly.
Yes.
To quote Cards Against Humanity, kids tested, mother approved.
I am going to swear still, though.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm going to be very good.
God, it's going to be fucking difficult.
But that was that, really, weren't it?
That's our show, listeners.
Thanks for listening. Why don't you get in touch?
How can they do that, Liam?
Twitter. They could tweet us at NerdOnNerd. Maybe they want to email us because it just can't fit into 140 characters or less. So pop us an email, nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com.
Yep.
Also, we're still uploading videos regularly to YouTube. So,
But Liam, how do I find the YouTube channel?
I'm not going to lie to you, it's a bit of a ball ache, but
It is.
the more of you that come, the easier it will be. So just search Nerd on Nerd, right? And that might work. But if it doesn't, just search Nerd on Nerd and then add Fleshlight. Or it's called a Fleshlight. Something like that. Some sort of fleshlighty combination will work. We're still waiting to be sponsored by anyone that makes fleshlights and anyone that'd be willing to send us many fleshlights.
Yeah, so if you make or sell flashlights or know someone that makes or sells flashlights,
Put them in touch.
yep.
You could also leave a lovely review on iTunes. As you heard, maybe it'll get read out on the next episode.
Who knows?
So you do that, you just go to iTunes, and then you just rate us 5 stars, and then you leave nice words.
Yep.
That's everything. Oh, Facebook. We've got a Facebook page. Facebook.com/nerdonnerd.
Pod, I think it is.
Nerd on Nerd Pod.
Yeah.
So there's loads of ways for you to contact us, and we have a whole section called housekeeping, which is for interactions we have with you guys. So just get involved. What have you got to lose?
I agree with Liam.
That's a maybe a first.
Well, no, we did spend the whole of the episode with Amanda on agreeing.
That's true. It's good to hear though.
Yeah.
I'll never say that, but you know.
Except when I'm right about stuff.
Hence why I'll never say it. Any final thoughts?
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.